Good morning, folks. My name is Mitch, aka M177A in game and also on Reddit. I'm here to provide a carry offer for those who want and or need it. We're going to be using Kryla today, and this video is going to be a little longer than what I normally would post because she's going to be doing several carries. I'm going to do my best to provide a link below in the description to various parts of the video, just in case if you want to skip ahead and do different trials. So we're going to be using one build to complete what we're going to be running today. So we're going to check out her build. She is pretty much geared to the teeth with elemental resistances. She has status resistance to everything with the exception of blind and silence. And she has concealing cloth for hiding, safety bit for death resist, and unquestionable loyalty for the HP boost, and also additional spirit. So we are going to go into the Chamber of the Fallen. We're going to hit up the Chamber of the Indignant, and we're going to be doing the first 3 Scorn missions: White Dragon, Demon Chimera, and Brachiosaur. And you're not going to be able to complete all missions, so just please keep that in mind. You're going to probably have to revisit this at a later time. She's going to be able to do everything with the exception of defeating the White Dragon with an Esper. And this boss has a preemptive move. It'll bring your team's HP down to 1%. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be hiding, and we're going to wait until turn 6 or higher to kill off the boss. So the great thing about Kryla is that she has a really unique mechanic. It's basically a dot that does massive amount of damage. So it's turn 5, we need to hide again, and we will start setting her up and killing the boss. So right now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Impending Doom. This will imperil the boss, and it'll also unlock a Hex skill. Don't worry about the physical attacks that she's taking. We're going to be doing Eye of Doom. Kryla has an innate 30% evasion on physical damage, so there's going to be some chances that the boss will miss. That Eye of Doom will do 1.2 million damage, and the boss itself has 1.2 million HP. So that completes that trial. And now we're going to move on to the Demon Chimera. And you'll be able to do everything with the exception of defeating the Chimera with magic. Now the main goal of this carry is to really help the newer players that are starting out in the game. Some of these gears that you obtain from these trials can be very helpful early on. So again, hide, come back on turn 6. If she comes back on turn 4 or 5, you're going to need to hide again. Perfect. Turn 6, we're going to be using Impending Doom. And then Eye of Doom. And the great thing about Kryla, with the introduction of her 7-star form and her enhancements, she really shines in terms of being a great breaker, being able to do all these imperils, I do apologize for the noise outside. I'm actually in my car recording this video as we speak. She does a number of different things, and she does it really well. So the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the Scorn of the Brachiosaur. You're going to be able to do everything with the exception of the limit burst. If you want to evoke Shiva, you're going to need to bring your team, basically 4 units or less, to get the anti-disaster here. And you need some way to generate enough escort orbs to be able to summon Shiva. So you probably might need to do that at a later time, but I'll leave that up to you. This one is going to be slightly a little different than the other 2 fights. It's going to be the same concept. Starting off, we're going to be hiding, and we're going to be coming back. We're aiming for turn 5 or higher, so turn 5 or turn 6 doesn't matter. And instead of using Impending Doom first, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Calamity Brew, and this will break the boss, and it'll give you enough turns to set everything up so you don't have any worry about dying. We're using Impending Doom. And then I've been. Yeah, so those normal attacks, if the boss stats are not broken, then you're going to be taking like 4 to 5k damage. And Kryla has a really high chance of dying. Okay, so now we're moving on. We're going to go to the Chamber of the Fallen. And we are going to go do Beasts of the Dark. I burned through so much energy pots already setting this build up, but definitely worth it if it helps you guys out. The thing that you more than likely won't be able to do is evoke Siren and Ifrit to get that trust removal. Everything else should be fine. If you're going to be trying to clear an ally without an ally being KO'd, you're going to need to bring a hide unit and just hide the entire time. So this is a similar idea with the Brachiosaur fight. You're going to start off with hiding, and you're just basically going to wait until those buffs are gone. It's usually on turn 5 or turn 6, depending, because since they have a preemptive, it'll vary. So what you want to do is you want to target Dark Ifrit, and you want to break Dark Ifrit's attack. If you try to break the rest of the stats, Dark Siren ends up buffing Dark Ifrit, and we don't want to deal with that because then it'll be pretty much pointless to break the stats. So after that, once Dark Ifrit is broken, use Impending Doom. And then use Eye of Doom. Dark Ifrit will die there after this turn. And the great thing about this is because they die at the end of their turn, you get an additional turn. So they're not going to use any of their triggers until you're back. And what I mean by that is we're going to be hiding, and we're waiting for Impending Doom to come back for us to use on Dark Siren. So Impending Doom is back. We're going to be using Impending Doom. And then Siren is going to go through a couple of different changes here just because Dark Ifrit has passed away. Siren's going to buff herself up. She's going to heal herself to max. And she will be doing some type of damage to Kryla, but you don't have to worry about it, because at the end of this turn, she's going to die. So that's the Dark Ifrit challenge, or the Dark Espers. Beast of the Dark, sorry. And the next one that we're going to be doing is Lure of Echidna. Now this one's probably the most annoying fight of everything that Kryla can do, just because she doesn't have any charm resist on her. And since that's the case, it's just going to drag on. We're going to be just basically hitting up the boss. You're gonna get your mana drain. You're not gonna have enough MP at the start of the fight, so what you need to do is just hide. You're gonna get some MP back, and then you're just gonna have to deal with the charm sessions that Echidna will throw on you. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using Dark Anathema. This will boost her spirit up and hope that she doesn't get charmed right now. The death resist is because Echidna will cast death pretty much every turn. So that's why she has that thing on her. I almost forgot. So yeah, you'll be able to get everything with the exception of Echidna's Kiss, because we're not going to try to kill Echidna with an Esper here. Now what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be throwing fire and ice damage on the boss, and just pretty much continue throughout the entire fight. This is pretty much the fastest route that I took. Every other route, when I'm trying to imperil the boss, when I'm trying to use the dot mechanic, it just takes forever just because of Echidna's charm ability. Luckily enough, Kryla hasn't been charmed yet. Dark Anathema is still on cooldown, so we're just going to keep on throwing the same moves on the boss. So there's that Seduce. We're just going to have to wait it out. And the Seduce sessions should not last long enough to do any real crazy damage on Kryla. If it does get a little too excessive, you can always hide again, regenerate all that HP, and then continue on with the fight. Okay, so we got Kryla back. And just going to use Dark Anathema just to boost my spirit up. If the MP gets drained again, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Limit Burst. If not, then I'm going to be using just the Ember Frost Brew 2 times. So I'm basically saving the Limit Burst in a case where I don't have any more MP and I'm not charmed. I've done this carry before a very long time ago with Veritas of the Earth, or Veritas of the Earth, and it just took about 200 turns just to auto the boss to death. These days, with the changes in the meta, it's a lot easier to deal with. And of course, she charms Kryla at the 1% mark, so we just gotta wait it out. Mercenary Ramza is a really good candidate. 7-star Mercenary Ramza is a really good candidate for this fight, just because he has Charm Immunity. Anyone with Charm Immunity pretty much can handle this boss without any issues. At this point, we don't have to worry about the MP being drained, because we're going to be using the Limit Burst, and that should take care of Echidna as soon as I get Kryla back. There we go. Just gonna summon a couple of gingerbreads. Yeah, her Limit Burst is a little off ever since that patch came out. For some odd reason or another, they shifted the display all the way up to the top of the screen, and they still haven't fixed it yet. So, but it still does its job, so can't really complain too much about that. All right, on to the next fight. So I would attempt to do the Octopus and the Teacher and show you guys. However, I've done this several times already, and Kryla cannot survive the second round of the fight just because of Typhon's preemptive attack. Kryla only has a 30% chance of evading a physical attack, and Typhon's attack actually does about 24k physical damage. So it'll knock Kryla out right away, unfortunately, so I can't do that. You can't use her for that unless you're willing to gamble, but that's up to you. The last part of the carry is we're going to be doing the Fallen Iceberg, and I've already done a video in regards to this using Kryla as well. The build is a little different. We're going to be able to do everything with the exception of evoking Ifrit. And before, what I said was, as long as you break the spirit of the boss, then you should be fine. However, since we're not really too tanky on Kryla's part, what we really need to do is we need to hide and keep throwing the debuffs on the boss until 2 of them stick. Initially, the spirit was the only one that needed to stick. However, that's not the case anymore with this particular build, just because she's not going to be able to really take all that physical attack for those multiple rounds. So this is the same concept: hiding, waiting for the skill to be ready. There's a 50% chance of the breaks not sticking on the boss, so that's why it's going to take multiple attempts unless you get really lucky. So Kryla should be coming back soon. There she is. Alright, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Calamity Brew. And what we need to really stick on the boss is the attack and the spirit breaks. If those do not stick onto the boss, you need to hide again, and you need to come back and you need to reapply those breaks. Okay, so the defense, the spirit, so the attack didn't stick. It's too much of a gamble if you decide to leave the attack alone, just because she takes too much damage from the physical attacks. As you see there, Kryla's pretty much took over 11k damage. She can't take another hit like that or know she's going to die. So we need to go hide again. We're going to regen that HP. and we need to wait for that skill to come back. So this can either be a very short fight for you, or it can be a very long fight depending on what your luck is looking like. So Calamity Brew again. And it looks like it's only the spirit and the defense stuff. Yeah, so we need to hide again. I've tested this a handful of times, and this is the safest route. So alright, let's try this again. We're not going to hide. Use Calamity Brew. So the spirit, and only the spirit stuff. So we're going to need to do this again. I know possibly using Mechanical Heart would be an option in order to withstand the physical attacks. However, that boost in HP with versus Mechanical Heart will pretty much mean all the difference depending on if Kryla will be able to survive the first round of attacks, or the additional rounds of attacks as well. So the attack stuff this time, and the spirit stuff, so we're good. We don't care about the defense just because we're not doing any physical damage to the boss. So as you see here, with the physical attack sticking, the break, you're taking pretty much no damage from Glacial here. What we need to do next is we need to buff up our own spirit. And this will raise Kryla's spirit up from about 8 to 900 to a little bit over 12k. And we are going to be using Witchcraft, or Witchcraft Plus, doesn't matter, and 2 Ember Frost Brews. This will take out the rest of the little tiny birds. And we're going to go through the next session. And this in turn will allow you to take out the boss. It's going to take an additional round, I know from before. The spirit is just not high enough to kill the boss all in one shot. So you're going to need 2 turns for this. And there you go. So that concludes the carries that I'm going to be running for people who ever want it. If you're going to be requesting a carry through YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment below along with your ID code, and I'll toss you an invite. I plan to run this carry for the time being, depending on what the next event comes out, depending on what trial we get next or whatever. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a thumbs up for me. Thank you for that. Please feel free to subscribe. I'm really getting close to that 100 subscriber mark, and I appreciate that. Until next time, thank you again for watching and taking your time to be here with me. Have a good day.